Well, it looks like it has finally happened, guys. Joelinton has verbally agreed a new 4-year contract with Newcastle United. And quite frankly, that is fantastic news for us as Newcastle United fans. A few years back, we wouldn't have said that. But since he's become an absolute beast of a midfielder, we need to build a side around the likes of Bruno and Joelinton. And it looks like finally Joelinton has agreed that very, very important contract. Hi everybody, my name is Paul. Welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel. If you are new around here, we cover Newcastle United and football in general. So if you like what you see, please do subscribe. Free to do so. And also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we schedule any of our live shows or we upload any videos such as this. But please don't forget to give it the thumbs up if you do enjoy the video today. Right. We may as well talk about it in more detail. Joelinton, this has been reported by Luke Edwards and the likes of Fabrizio Romano, etc. So it does look like finally, we can stop worrying about Joelinton's deal. Now, I must reiterate, this is just a verbal agreement, but according to the reports, it's just formalities now before he signs the contract and Newcastle United make the announcement. That could come today, tomorrow, or in a few weeks' time, just depending on when they feel like releasing that statement. But for us as fans, I think it's fabulous news because obviously we know that the vote for this FFP change is going to take place in June. That may well trigger some big buys from Newcastle United in the summer. I'm not saying they'll go crazy, but it enables us to pay this luxury tax and bring in the players who we really want. Now, to build a midfield around Bruno, Joelinton, Tonali, Willock, etc., we're going to have a hell of a middle of the park, aren't we? We've got a lot to look forward to if these deals can get across the line. And look, whatever was going on with Dan Ashworth, there was a lot of suggestions that Dan Ashworth was the main reason why the Joelinton deal hadn't been completed. But then suddenly he disappears. Amanda Staveley and Darren Eales, etc., take over the talks. And suddenly now we're looking at a 4-year contract for Joelinton. Now, as for a release clause, I'm not sure. It's not been mentioned as far as I can see in any of the reports. So if there isn't a release clause, then that's even better. But I think what this deal will do is it will make Joelinton one of the highest players at Newcastle United. And does he deserve it? Damn right he does. This guy took stick from all angles when he first came to Newcastle United for 2 years, including myself. And a lot of other people gave him absolute hell. Thought, who is this guy we've signed for 40 million quid? Is he really worth 40 million quid? And then by hook or by crook, or luck might have it, Kieran Clark gets sent off against Norwich. Joelinton gets back to midfield and he's never looked back. The man is a beast and one of the best midfielders in the Premier League at what he does. There's no doubt about it. The physicality that Joelinton brings, the motivation that he brings to other players, his commitment, it's second to none. It really is. And I just adore the bloke. I really do. From what he's come from to become my favourite player, I just think we've missed him so badly since he's been out injured. The way he gets stuck in, the physicality, the driving forward for Newcastle, we haven't seen that since he's been injured. Bruno is tending to have to do everything by himself. So that is why we need Joelinton back on the pitch. Now, a lot of reports, of course, when he first got injured, said that's it for Joelinton. He's not playing anymore for Newcastle United because of this contractual issue. It looks like it's sorted, guys. And the reports are very positive. Verbal agreement in place now and formalities just to complete the whole deal. I'm over the moon because I was really worried we were going to lose Joelinton. I really was. But the fact is this news has come out this morning and it's given all Newcastle United fans a real buzz. A real buzz. I don't think there's any Newcastle United fan who will be disappointed with this announcement this morning. Absolutely not. No way in hell. So it looks like, guys, Joelinton, another 4 years at Newcastle United. Let me know in the comments below what you think of that deal. Now, a couple of players have been linked to Newcastle United this morning in the media, and two very interesting names, probably which you wouldn't have thought of. And again, it might worry a few Newcastle United fans that we're not really targeting the right players, or you can look at it more objectively and think, right, the clubs they're at the moment are, not in the Premier League, or one is in the Premier League and one isn't. But let's look at it in more general about what kind of strengths they would bring to Newcastle United. The first one is Max Kilman, the centre-back at Wolves. He's 26-year-old and he's made 31 Premier League appearances for Wolves this season, so practically every game he's played. Now, I've seen Kilman a couple of times, and he does have a lot of good strengths. And would I suggest that he would be a first-team starter for Newcastle United? No. But what we have to remember here is, if whatever competitions we're going to be in next season, even if we're not in Europe, we need a better and bigger squad who can cope with what the demands of football are these days. See many managers coming out complaining of games, too many games here, too many games there. But let's be quite brutally honest here. You know, we haven't had the best of luck with injuries, and the squad isn't good enough. Simple as that. There's some players in our squad that we know need to be moved on, and that is probably going to happen in the summer. However, Max Kilman, for me, not a bad idea. Get some central defenders through the door, and especially, you know, one like Max Kilman, he's a physical defender. He can play on the ground as well. So I don't see a problem with bringing Kilman in, especially with the injury to Lascelles. You know, we don't know how much Lascelles is going to be next season, as in the same kind of player that he was this. He's improved dramatically under Eddie Howe, but an ACL injury, Botman as well. We need to strengthen the centre-back position in order to move forward. So Kilman's an option. The other player that's been linked in the media this morning is Leicester City's midfielder Wilfred Ndidi. Now, Ndidi obviously has Premier League experience. He didn't leave Leicester City when they went down, which I thought was very admirable, actually, from Ndidi. Leicester should come back up this season. I know they've had a couple of dodgy results of late, but they should be back in the Premier League. But Ndidi's contract is running out at the end of the season. And there's not just Newcastle United interested in him. Spurs, Villa, Brighton and Wolves are all sniffing around as well, monitoring his contract situation at the moment down there in Leicester. Now, for me, Ndidi is a brilliant number 6, right? He is a very good number 6. He replaced Kante when Kante left for Chelsea. And Ndidi's done a great job at Leicester as well. Now, I know Leicester are in the Championship, and everybody's going to be thinking, oh, you know, what are we signing Championship players for? But Ndidi has done it in the Premier League. He played very well for Leicester City. And just because they went down, it doesn't mean that every single player at Leicester City is a bad player. You know, Harvey Barnes, for one, came to us, and yeah, he's had his troubles, but he's looking like a real player. And, you know, give him time to settle after, of course, all the horrible injuries that he's had. It doesn't mean that the bad players coming from Leicester. There is some gems in there, and I think Wilfred Ndidi is one of them, especially for a number 6. You know, if we had Ndidi sitting there, we'd have a choice of midfielders. The world is our oyster with midfielders for next season, with Joelinton, Joe Willock, Bruno, you know, Longstaff to a degree. I just think he's going to be a squad fringe player next season, however. But the options are there. Tonali coming back and everything like that. We'd have a real bulk of options in midfield. And that's what we're missing this season. We're missing a bulk of options and building that squad to be something really, really terrific. So Wilfred Ndidi now linked as well. That could be a free transfer as well, don't forget. So, you know, we wouldn't be spending any money on him. So for me, a player like Wilfred Ndidi would be an absolute no-brainer. But let me know what you think. Now then, finally, has Mente changed Eddie Howe's mind on where this guy is going to be playing next season? Many different rumours. Of course, Eddie Howe came out a couple of weeks ago when he was asked about Minteh and said that the likelihood is that he'd be going out on loan again next season. That is the plan for him. At the moment, he's absolutely tearing it up in the Eredivisie, scoring twice and assisting once in the 6-0 unbelievable win over Ajax last weekend. The guy has caught the media attention of everybody who follows Feyenoord. I've read an interesting interview this morning with one of the reporters saying that, you know, when Minteh first arrived at Feyenoord, he was very raw, his positioning was poor, his work rate without the ball was poor, and it's all gone full circle to the point where now, every time Minteh gets the ball, the fans are off the seats. And that is the kind of player that we love at Newcastle, don't we? The likes of Ginola, Robert, Ben Arthur, all those kind of players. St Maximin to a degree, although his final product wasn't great, he still got you on the edge of your seat with some wonderful dribbles. Minteh can do all that, and he's got a finishing product. And that shouldn't be pushed to the back of the queue with regards to finishing, because do I think he's better than Miggy right now? Do I think he's better than Murphy? Yes. I really genuinely do. I know he's got a lot to learn and he's still very raw, but I've watched a lot of Feyenoord this season. I watch a lot of the Dutch football, and he is a superb player. You know, he's definitely one to get you off the edge of your seat, and he's just so exciting to watch. And we know, as Newcastle fans, we love that kind of thing. So why not with Minteh? Get him in or go to Australia at the end of the season or indeed play him in pre-season. Let's have a good look at him. That's what I want from a fan's point of view. I don't know about you guys, how you feel. I see a lot of people asking about Minteh in the chat and wanting him to play for us now, never mind next season. But obviously he's staying there at the end of the season. Would you like to see Minteh come in the summer, go on the pre-season trips and then get him judged then? Is he going to be good enough? Play against a couple of Premier League sides in friendlies. I know they're only friendlies and you can't judge a lot from it. But I think watching this guy play against some very, very good players in their Eredivisie, I think he can do it. I really can. And if he struggles, send him out on loan in January to get him some more English football. Send him to the Championship or something. I mean, Mente himself has come out over the weekend and said, look, if a loan deal was in place for next season, he'd want to go back to Feyenoord. He's going to say that. He's playing well for Feyenoord. He's settled in well there, and the fans adore him, right? So there's no doubt about it that, if a deal was in place to go back to Feyenoord, he would go. Now, Newcastle may have different plans, and Mente himself said this. He's a Newcastle United player. He abides by where they send him. So that might be to somewhere in England, in the Championship, or somewhere like that, to get used to the rough and tumble of English football. But I'm very excited about Mente, guys, and I think a lot of Newcastle United fans are. And the more and more we hear about what's going on in Holland, scoring goals, assisting goals, being part of an unbelievable win against Ajax, etc., this is huge. This guy could save us an absolute fortune next season on bringing in another right-hand-sided forward. Miggy is probably going to be possibly sold in the summer. Murphy will stay. So, you're building a squad on that side of the pitch as well. But again, we're not forking out millions of pounds because he's already a Newcastle United player, guys. This is what have got to come into your heads. And I know we've just spoken about transfers there before and talking about the fact that FFP may not be around. The luxury tax is going to be there. But that's what we've got to look at. Minteh coming in could save us a fortune to really strengthen in other positions. And other striker for one. Centre-backs, etc., etc. Positions that we know need strengthening and Newcastle United can go and do. And I really think bringing Minteh back could be the answer. Again, let me know in the comments what you think below. Thank you very much for watching the latest news show on the Toon Review. Guys, I am going to start doing these a lot more regularly again because as the summer approaches, obviously the stories about players and coming in or leaving and things like that will start to ramp up. So there is going to be daily news shows every day. Some might be live, some might be recordings, but you'll definitely get them right here with myself. But if you have enjoyed this one, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, guys. Very important for the channel. We keep those coming in. And if you're new and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Free to do so. And don't forget to hit the bell, which will let you know when we go live. Or schedule our live shows, or we upload any videos such as this one. If you're watching this on Tuesday, tune in tonight. Live show, transfer show, and latest news. We're going to have a look at whoever's been linked again. Have a look, take a deep dive with Alex into these players and the stats and see what they could bring to Newcastle United. I don't know who he's got on his list for tonight, guys. It's much of a surprise as it is for you, for me. So let's all do it together. 7 o'clock tonight, transfer show right here on the Toon Review. But enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Take care.